Hi, it's time for another math lesson, chapter 12, lesson 3. Today we're going to talk about weird things, kind of a weird name, called box and whisker plots. Now, these are really easy to work with. Basically, if you can find the median, meaning the number in the middle of a list of numbers, then you can go ahead and make these plots. And I don't know, I think these are kind of nice and easy, kind of simple to work with. You just kind of have to get used to them a little bit. So let's go ahead and look. And this is an example of something called a box and whisker plot, where the box is the piece in the middle and the whiskers are the little lines on the outside. Now, a box and whisker plot displays the distribution of data items along a number line. So we have a number line here and the box and whisker plot that goes along with it. And quartiles divide the data into 4 equal parts. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a little first section for a whisker, then half of the box, then half of the box, and the last whisker. All right, so this is a really good diagram for us to understand. Every box and whisker plot is going to have a minimum point and a maximum point, the biggest piece of data, or the smallest piece of data and the biggest piece of data. And then the middle, this point right here, the dividing line for the box, is going to be the median of all the data. And then basically what you're going to do is you're going to take some data and you're going to find the median of the first half and median of the second half and then kind of make your box. All right. Let's look at an example because it might make a lot more sense if we go ahead and look at an example. So here we have example 1. Example 1 says a table below on the left, so this table right here, shows the United States crops harvested from 1988, the year I was born, to 2000. Yeah, you guys weren't even born then. You guys are young. All right, we're going to make a box and whisker plot out of this information. So the first thing they're doing is they're taking all this information, 298, 318, blah, 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 all these numbers right here, the acres and millions, and they are arranging them in order from least to greatest, from least to greatest. All right, so let's go ahead from least to greatest. All right. Now that's important because the only way that we can find medians is if we rearrange these things in order from least to greatest. All right. So that's the first step, is just rearranging them from smallest to biggest. Then we're going to find the median of all of these numbers. So if you remember from the last lesson, the median is a number that's directly in the middle. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 numbers, which is an odd amount. So it means that there's going to be a number directly in the middle. And this number 321 is the median. So 321 is going to be the center of our box. So remember, we're going to have a box and whisker plot. It's going to look something like this. And this middle part right here is going to be 321. We also know our smallest number is 298. And our biggest number is 333. So that means that we have our ends of our whiskers and we have the middle of the box. Now, what we need to do is we need to figure out, well, what is the lower quartile? So we don't know this spot. We need to figure out what is the upper quartile. And the way that we're going to do that is, if this is the dividing line, we're going to think of these as two different median problems, where we want to figure out what's the median of these numbers, and then what's the median of the second half. So when we go ahead and try to find the median of the first half, we're not going to use this middle number anymore. We don't need it. We already established that that's here. We want to figure out, well, what's the median of this first half? And in the first half, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go ahead and do a different color. And let's say the middle two numbers are going to be these guys right here. So in order to find the median of the lower quartile, the first half median, you add them together and divide by 2. Remember, I'm adding these numbers because when you have an even amount of numbers, you have to find the average or the mean of the middle. And I get 315.5. Then I do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means that the middle of these two numbers is going to be 326. All right, and that would be it. That's pretty much all we have to do in order to find our box and whisker plot. Number one, you want to arrange them in order from least to greatest. Number two, you're going to find the minimum point, the maximum point, and the median of all of them. And number three, you're going to find the median of the first half, not including the total median, and the second half. Okay? So those are the three steps. And if we had to plot this on a graph, it would look like this, where we have a number line, and then for reference, we figure out where our point was. This was supposed to be at 298, and it's about 298. This part was at 315.5, 321, 326, and 333. All right, let's go ahead and work on standards check number one, where they are asking us to draw a box and whisker plot that represents the distances of migration of birds. All right, they give us some, and thousands of miles, they give us some numbers. And step number one that we want to do is we want to go ahead and reorder all of these numbers. We want to take these numbers and put them in order from smallest to biggest. So looking at these numbers, the smallest number that they have is 1. And every time I place a number, I'm going to go ahead and cross it off the list. I want to make sure that I use all of these numbers, that I don't skip any numbers, because if I skip a number, I might get got. And nobody here wants to get got. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and look. The next smallest number is 6.2. The next smallest number is going to be 7, or largest, and then the next is 8, then 9, and then 18. So if I did this right, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 numbers. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 numbers. All right, perfect. Cool. All right, now we're going to go ahead and on the bottom, I'm going to make my little box and whisker plot. Now, this is not going to be exactly to scale. I'm just going to go ahead and just draw this so I have an approximation of what it's supposed to look like. And I can go ahead and label 3 numbers already. I can do the minimum number is 1 because the smallest number is 1, and the biggest number is 18. So this box and whisker plot is going to stretch from 1 to 18. I can also find the median number, the number in the middle, because there are 11 digits here, and the number right in the middle is going to be 6. All right, this is the median of the whole thing. And this is the maximum point, and this is the minimum point. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find, well, what is the median of these points of data? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. That means the median is going to be this guy right here. The median is going to be 2.5. Now, that means that this is what we call the lower quartile. And then the median of this half is going to be the number in the middle, which is 8. And that means that this is going to be this point right there. And this is what we're going to call the upper quartile. So if I ask you what is the maximum point, you would say 18. The minimum point would be 1. The median would be 6. The lower quartile would be 2.5, and the upper quartile would be 8. Now note that this drawing right here is not to scale, meaning if I put this on a number line, they would not be evenly distributed. There's no way that the difference between 1 and 2.5, this distance is approximately the same as 8, and 18. So they might be a little bit more stretched out if you ever have a number line where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So maybe we would have it like this, where 1 and 18, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be the middle of the box, and this goes between 2.5, and this goes to 6, 7, 8. So maybe the box looks like this, and then stretches out like that. This is a more accurate depiction of what this box and whisker plot might look like. They might be a little bit more stretched. You never know until you graph it out. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 3. This is the last type of question that might be on your homework. And I went ahead and on the top right, I listed the things that we're looking for in order to solve this problem. Describe the data in the box and whisker plot, because what would the point of having all this stuff be if they didn't have any data for us to interpret, any reason for us to do this? So these are the big things we're looking for. We're looking for the maximum point, the minimum point, and the bigger half of the box. All right, those three things. So looking at this, what is the maximum point according to this box and whisker plot? So the max, it looks like is going to be 90. Now, if these represent exam scores, the highest score for out of all these tests is a 90. All right. What is the minimum point for this one? Well, according to this, the smallest point over here looks like it's going to be 50. All right, so that would be the second part of the answer. And then the next thing we're trying to figure out is, okay, which half of this box is larger? All right, we have side 1 and side 2. Now looking at this, because this is scale, side 1 is a larger box. Ding, 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 ding. So we want to figure out how long is this box? Well, if every one of these little tick marks represents 5, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, and it's 2 tick marks length, it means that this is going to be 10. This has a length of 10. Okay. Now, what this represents is this is 10 points within the median. 10 points from the median. 10 from the median. And that's all they're really looking for in this problem. All right, we're looking for the maximum point, the minimum point, and then which side is larger, and based off of that, how long is that section? So let's go ahead and do standards check number 3. We need to find those 3 things: the maximum point, the minimum point, and then how many points from the median. All right, the larger side. So it looks like this. According to this data, the maximum point is going up to here, so it should be 45. The minimum point goes halfway between 10 and 20, which is going to be 15. And which side is larger, side 1 or side 2? Well, side 1 is larger. And what is the length of that box? It looks like it's 5, 10, so it looks like it's going to be 10. So the larger side is 10 units from the median. And that's pretty much it. All right. Reading this data isn't really that difficult. We just have to know what we're looking for. And these are the 3 things that we're looking for. And whenever you're trying to find the bigger half, you also need to figure out, well, what is the length? And that's how many units, how many points, how many whatever you're talking about from the median. That's what they're looking for. We always want they'll say at least half of the points are from the median. That's what they're looking for. We're looking for the bigger half. All right, that's it. That's all we have for this lesson. Have fun. See ya.